As the village erupted into chaos, Zawadi observed with a cold satisfaction. Her plan was succeeding beyond her wildest dreams, and the hunters who had killed her sister were no longer remembered in the face of the disarray she had wrought. Before we continue with the story, press that subscribe button and don't forget to like, share, and comment. That's how you support us and motivate us to create more content. Once upon a time, in a quiet village known as Nyabongo, life there flowed like the river that carved around its borders. Peaceful, predictable, and harmoniously connected to the land. The villagers, renowned for their wisdom and kindness, lived in harmony, cherishing their traditions and simple joys. One day, a stranger arrived at Nyabongo. Her name was Zawadi, a strikingly beautiful woman whose grace and elegance caught the eye of everyone she met. She moved into a modest hut on the edge of the village, but it wasn't long before whispers of her arrival began circulating through the village like wildfire. The men were particularly intrigued by her, while the women eyed her with a mix of curiosity and wariness. Unknown to the villagers, Zawadi harbored a deep and consuming rage. Her sister Naya had once lived in a village much like Nyabongo. Naya was a serpent woman, a being of both human and serpentine nature, endowed with a mystical beauty and ancient magic. She had been beloved by her people until a group of hunters from Nyabongo came and killed her, seeking to gain glory and favor from the gods. Naya's death was a scar upon Zawadi's heart, a wound that never healed. Zawadi had spent years plotting her revenge, mastering her own serpent magic, and honing her abilities to manipulate and charm. Her plan was both simple and devastating. She would unravel the bonds of love and trust within the village, sowing discord and turning husbands against their wives. The first sign of Zawadi's influence was subtle. She began by charming the men of Nyabongo with her mesmerizing stories and enchanting laughter. The men, drawn to her charisma, started spending more time with her, finding excuses to visit her hut and revel in her company. Her beauty and grace were irresistible, and they were soon ensnared in a web of enchantment. Gradually, the men began to change. They grew distant from their wives, neglecting their duties and forgetting their promises. Jealousy and suspicion took root among the women as their husbands became increasingly detached and secretive. Whispers of betrayal and discontent echoed through the village like a storm gathering on the horizon. Zawadi's magic, however, was limited to mere charm. She had learned to manipulate the very essence of her victim's thoughts and emotions. Through carefully crafted enchantments, she whispered seeds of doubt into the men's ears, exploiting their insecurities and fears. Soon, even the most devoted husband began to question his wife's fidelity, believing her to be unfaithful or plotting against him. The atmosphere in Nyabongo became thick with tension and mistrust. Marriages that had once been strong began to crumble, and friendships turned into rivalries. The village, once a beacon of unity, was now a cauldron of suspicion and anger. The once clear river that flowed around Nyabongo seemed to darken, mirroring the turmoil within. As the village erupted into chaos, Zawadi observed with a cold satisfaction. Her plan was succeeding beyond her wildest dreams, and the hunters who had killed her sister were no longer remembered in the face of the disarray she had wrought. Her vengeance was complete, but as the days wore on, she began to feel a strange unease. The joy of revenge was bittersweet, and the suffering she had caused seemed to weigh heavily on her heart. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the village lay in fractured silence, Zawadi stood on a hill overlooking Nyabongo. She saw the broken homes and the desolate faces, the lives she had shattered in her quest for retribution. For the first time, she questioned the path she had chosen. The village was not the same as it had been before, but neither was she. In a moment of clarity, Zawadi made a decision. She would leave Nyabongo, leaving behind only a hint of her presence. She wove a final enchantment into the very air, a spell that would eventually heal the rift she had caused, though it would take time and effort for the villagers to rebuild their trust and unity. As she departed, Zawadi shed her human guise and transformed into her serpent form, slithering away into the dense forest. The night swallowed her up, and the village slowly began to piece itself back together. Though the scars of Zawadi's revenge would remain, the people of Nyabongo were resilient, and in time, they would heal their bonds of love and repair the broken trust. The legend of Zawadi became a tale passed down through generations, a story of beauty and betrayal, of magic and revenge. It served as a reminder of the fragile nature of harmony and the deep, often destructive power of vengeance. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.